All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We had a little bit of a hiccup with our starter there, and then, well, it's good though. We're here. All right. So we're a little late. It's a little after 2000, but technical difficulties. Should be getting good sound. I see Legion in the chat already. Hey, brother, let me know how the sound is. Gavin, what's going on? Welcome to the show again. Hey, when are you going to get your dad to sit down and watch bullshit with us? But anyway, so hey, the thumbnail didn't update correctly. I put the new one in there. It was supposed to say dirty jokes or rape. Still says the C word, conservatism. But anyway, tonight what we're going to be talking about, obviously there's the sex scandals going on, all that stuff. But first, for those of you who know me, those of you who have been to the house, because there's a few of you who watch this that are close friends, have been to the house, I just want you to know that earlier this evening, we ate an amazing prime rib that my old man smoked on the barbecue pit out in the yard. Oh.
Yeah, it was good. I almost didn't make it to the show just for not being able to walk.
Believe me, that food coma just about had me out on this couch right here. But
and we ate every bit of it.
Every single scrap. It was amazing, just magical.
In fact, weren't you and I instructed to finish it?
We were. We were instructed that there should be no leftovers.
And we took that shit seriously.
Yeah, we did. We'll fuck around about red meat here at the BFM. All right, so tonight we're going to be talking about the sex scandals. We're going to get into some other stuff too. But I'm going to be talking about the sex scandals more from a strategic point of view. And from a social consequences point of view than rape culture horse shit. But we'll dig into that a little bit too. So, here we go. Oh, so it's just the four of us right now. Oh, nope. I see there's somebody in that audience that's not speaking to us yet. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Apologies off the rip. Usually I've got the chat running right over my head here, but I'm having some trouble with that right now. I was trying to key it back in so it was more legible again. We'll get back to it. So rape allegations, sexual harassment allegations. I was talking about this with some friends that were giving me a little pushback on it the other night. One of the biggest problems I see in all this sexual harassment witch hunt stuff that's going on is there's not a clear line of demarcation. The hedgehog, the porn
Sonic?
Star. No, the porn star. Jeremy. He was in frickin' Boondock Saints. In fact, that and that reality show he did is the only place I've ever seen him.
Dude, I don't watch porn for the dudes.
He's the porn star. The guy that owns the porn star branded T-shirts and everything.
He was in Ghostbusters.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
Was he?
Yeah.
What's his name? Anyway, somebody out there remembers Jeremy something. Damn, I was just reading an article about him. Anyway, guy's porn star. He's been a porn star for a long time. Apparently, Tammy Faye Baker says he's a real sweetheart. They got
Ron Jeremy.
Ron Jeremy. There it is. So Ron Jeremy has had accusers come out. Has had an accuser come out now, and I'm not sure if this is serious. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if this is like an Onion article or what, but she claims that while they were doing a shoot together, so they're doing a porn shoot, apparently a photograph porn shoot. Um, he just kept sticking it in her. I read this article like, okay, there there has got to be some point at which consent has been defined by a professional contract if you're in the adult entertainment industry. I mean, if two people walk into a room and they agree with one another that they're going to engage in sex for money, I think
On camera.
on camera. I mean,
I showed up to a porn and had to do porn. I'm confused.
oh Jesus. Oh, oh.
Hey, but you can have cameras around and it's non-consensual. Ask Al Franken.
Yep, and Al Franken. Well, see, I'm actually gonna defend him just a little bit. Was the picture inappropriate? Yes. Is it actually sexual assault? I mean, the girl was wearing. She's clearly wearing an LBV. Not an LBV, an IOTV, a body armor suit with the fucking sappy plate in it. So, I mean, it's pretty clear that he couldn't actually put his hands on her breasts. Was it inappropriate? Yes. Was it obnoxious? Of course it was obnoxious. He's an SNL comedian.
Womp womp.
But
Okay, I got to give you some pushback.
yeah,
Your wife is wearing body armor. I grab her through her body armor and take a picture. How many ways do you beat my ass?
just one.
But because it is sexual assault.
It's not going to work for you. It's not going to work.
I'm just saying, it is sexual assault.
I honestly, I don't know what that is. I'm going to whoop your ass. I don't need a real clear definition to drop a ass whooping. Now, certainly, anything that rose to a level higher than that, you might have to find out what shitty teeth taste like, because I will stand around and wait for you to have a bowel movement so I can feed you those teeth twice. But, no, I'm not saying Al Franken shouldn't go down in flames. Because let's be real. If allegations alone are enough to sink a man's Senate run, well, here's the problem. The timing of the allegations is such that it is quite clear. Lindsay says she can hear. Yay! I'm glad you can hear, Lindsay. The timing of the allegations is quite clear that the intent, that what is being done, is character assassination. So, oh no! I'm about to get. Stick with me there, Legion. You're gonna like this. But what they're trying to do is character assassination. So, because that is the case, the opposition, what's his name, Doug Jones. Doug Jones should be charged if we're going to charge in the court of public opinion, charge Roy Moore with the allegations of sexual assault, sexual misconduct that we are apparently going to levy on him. Doug Jones should be charged for aiding and abetting, for obstruction of justice, for withholding that information. You drop an October surprise of sexual harassment on a political candidate, and you are absolutely 100% not interested in getting justice for the victim. If you were interested in getting justice for the victim, you'd have played the card when it came to your attention that the victim had been victimized. But that's not what you're doing. Now, and please give me some pushback, but the only pushback that I can really imagine a reasonable argument to be made with is that, given the age of the allegations, the expiry of statutes of limitation in some of these cases, then perhaps the only justice that can be sought is to prevent the man from going into the office. And then there's the claim that, well, we just want to show that he's not suited for the office because he has this history. Okay, well, that brings me around to the next question in this case then. If he's not suited for this office, then why? And it's so important to you to let everybody know that he's not suited to this office. Then why was it not important enough? Did his judgeship just not matter? Was that office just not important enough to put a decent man in? Was the assistant DA office just not important enough to put a good man in? If the problem is that this man is not morally good enough to serve in the office, then what? Is it okay for rapists to be dog catchers?
Well, there's the alternative theory, but this isn't the Democrats' play. Set up all the context for this.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Steve Bannon did go on Sean Hannity's show some weeks ago and promised the world that his number one goal was to do whatever it took to not only depose Mitch McConnell, Senate Majority Republican leader, from being the head guy in the Senate, but if he could get him voted out of office entirely, then that's what Steve Bannon was going for. In fact, Steve Bannon was very specific and said that as far as he was concerned, the only senator that he knew that was 100% down for the cause was Ted Cruz, and that every other senator was suspect and probably needed to go. But enemy number one to the Trump agenda and the Republican Party in general, anything that could be branded conservatism, libertarianism, Mitch McConnell is the biggest obstacle. And the people that called for Roy Moore to get out of the race immediately, I mean, it was John McCain. It was Mitch McConnell. It was Susan Collins. In fact, if you took a list of all of the biggest Republican senator shitheads, every single one of them immediately said, well, Roy Moore's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. I have no reason to doubt the women, probably because his last name wasn't Clinton. But at the same time, all jokes aside, if you ask me, tinfoil hat, where do I think this is coming from? I don't think the Democrats have a damn thing to do with it. I think the Republicans are proving that they're fully capable of fighting dirty, fighting hard, as long as they eat their own.
Yep, I've got some pushback for you on that one. Credence, but yes, Legion, you're right. If I would have given a lot more, I would have given a lot more credence to the allegation too, if it had been leveled during the contested primary instead of after during going into the general. Now, the fact that it was not dropped during the primary makes me a little bit dubious to what you're saying there, because it seems like if it was those Republicans trying to hurt Roy Moore with these allegations, then they had an opportunity during the primary to use that to get their guy through the primary, so that Big Luther could be the next run-up. Now,
not if you're going full scorched earth. Not if you're willing to lose the seat to make the point.
And here's my pushback there. The people that you listed, Susan Collins, Mitch McConnell, John McCain, we've spoken a few times on this show recently about the one-party system. the reason that Donald Trump is so opposed by the rest of the U.S. government, especially by our legislature, is because we have effectively fallen into a one-party system. This campaign, I think you're right. I think it's Mitch McConnell. I think it's those guys getting involved in this. And I don't think it is because they are Republicans who want to scorched earth the Trumpite Republican. No, I think it's much more dubious than that. McConnell, McCain, Collins, every one of those people you've mentioned has been an absolute bulwark against any advancement of the Trump agenda. They all talked a big game about repeal and replace. They all talked a big game about being conservatives. They did not adequately oppose the implementation of Obamacare. They were not all there when it was coming through, but they've all basically been Obama enablers. So I submit to you that the DNC actually ran those Republicans, knowing that a Republican would win the tickets they ran on. I submit to you that they are actually basically Democrat agents.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time John McCain was an agent. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it would.
Is Songbird not an agent? Or is that just a really nasty thing to say about somebody?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, we don't respect us for it. Phew.
I guess this is something that we're just going to have to disagree on. But I think especially given the way that Trump in particular has sort of led this whole thing where, I mean, he won by sticking his thumb in everybody's eye. And part of the reason why he won is it was just such a relief to see him pissing off the right people and not getting his precious little feelings hurt about it. And I think maybe they've taken a leaf out of his book. And I think this is like, okay, fine. You want to cut up and back? Shitheads, we hold the mountain already. We'll keep cutting up and back. We'll show you how to really play dirty. It's not inconceivable. And the reason why, the number one reason why I go back to this is there's this quote from Jeb Bush way back before the presidential election got into full swing, where he said that you have to lose the primary to win the general election. And I just want to ask Jeb, how'd that work out? Because you sure did lose the primary. But if they're willing to do that, they're willing to work with the Democrats, they're willing to essentially function as the Democrat light party and everything else that we've discussed over and over and over again, what do they care? What if they're willing to be a minority party for another? I mean, what was it before Newt and the boys took over? Republicans hadn't controlled Congress for like 40 years?
Right.
Well, what if they're willing to go back to that so they don't have to answer to us stupid conservatives and us radical Christians and us freedom-loving libertarians and us red-blooded, red meat-eating, red, white, and blue bleeding patriots? What if they're just willing to shit on themselves because they know it's all going to roll downhill?
Turkey turtleneck McCuckle.
He doesn't look like a turkey. He looks like a turtle. Oh, turkey turtleneck.
Turkey
Okay.
turtleneck.
Wow, that was alliterative.
McCuckle.
That was.
Okay. Yeah, so well, don't forget, Legion, that the death panels, those are just for people like us. Especially people like you and me, Legion. Remember that. Because, yeah. So, okay. Witch hunts. There are some monsters in this mix. Weinstein. Um, I mean, we don't have to believe the accusers. He apologized for all of them
and checked himself into sex rehab.
So we don't have to take their word for it. We have his word for it. I mean, I don't have enough tinfoil for the hat that lets me process a conspiracy where all the actresses and the raper agree that the rape that never happened, in fact, happened. So we're just going to go ahead and take his word for it. Since he said he raped him, we're gonna go with it. He said he raped him. That's good enough for me. Well, but then, so you've got these other cases, and this is part of why Roy Moore is in such hot water right now, because the witch hunt is going on, because there are actually witches like Weinstein. It makes the allegations seem like, oh yeah, this is just happening everywhere. Oh, it's everywhere.
Dude, apparently it is everywhere if you're in Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood's looking bad. But see, here's the thing with Hollywood right now. There was an article, I think it was in the Hollywood Reporter. It was in one. Oh, yeah, it was in that one.
We shoplifted those. We didn't spend money on the Hollywood Reporter. I'm just kidding. Keep going.
I spent money on the Hollywood Reporter.
Shame.
I got 12 issues for $9 because I have to have them for a class.
So you fed the liberal patriarchy by feeding the...
I fed them $9. And besides,
you give me $9, I'll give you colored toilet paper.
I bet you will. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so they ran a list of all the people who have been accused, and so you got the list. It's just like, here's the list of people, and it's just a list of names. These are the people that have been accused of sexual assault, sexual harassment, and fucking rape. And it's, you got Weinstein, you got Kevin Spacey, you got Loius C.K, you got
Sylvester
Stallone,
Charlie Sheen,
so on and so forth, and Dustin Hoffman's on there. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So, okay, so, and Loius C.K. We can't forget about Loius C.K., who apparently just takes all his clothes off and jerks off in front of people. Like, all right, good luck with that clam chowder there, brother. But anyway, you got all those guys on the same list, and all it says is these are the people who are accused of sexual impropriety of some sort. So now it looks for all the world like Dustin Hoffman, who, as I understand it, essentially made a dirty joke, made an offhanded comment, and somebody found it offensive. And he's being listed with other people who are stripping down and masturbating in front of people who are essentially just straight up raping people on the casting couch. And that concerns me greatly. The original Billy C. was not on the list, Lindsay. They neglected him. That's just a thing we're just gonna have to live with that. Bill Clinton is never gonna suffer anything beyond having been disbarred and paying settlements and so on and so forth and so forth.
No, dude, she meant Cosby. That was a brilliant comment.
Well played. Well played,
Lindsay won the thread.
Yeah, so apparently the legit ass pudding It just didn't work out.
It's just a pudding pop. A
It's
pudding
pudding
pop.
pop. Just the tip. 762. What? But yeah. So, dirty jokes are rape now. That's what you're telling me. If all Dustin Hoffman did was made an off-color comment, and he's on the same list as Harvey Weinstein, then we're basically they're basically trying to tell us that dirty jokes are the same as rape.
It's that microaggression bullshit.
Oh, I saw an article earlier today. I didn't read it. I skimmed it. But the headline was something to the effect of United States, one of only 3 nations to vote against UN resolution to ban Nazi pride speech. I'm sure that the only thing the resolution did was ban Nazi pride speech. The great thing about video is you can hear the sarcasm. But let's just pretend like there's a resolution coming through the UN that only includes a single provision to ban Nazi pride speech. A, how do you define Nazi pride speech? Who defines Nazi pride speech? What is that? And B, how in the toe-tapping, 3-legged Jesus do you square that against the First Amendment? But we're the monsters here in the States because we won't write anti-free speech laws. We won't ban dirty jokes. We won't ban the speech of even Nazis. Of course, all those little snowflakes are out there crying for Nazi speech to be banned. Guys, I'm not a Nazi. I have just huge disdain for socialism, for ethnocentric supremacism. I'm 6.5 feet tall, and I will fucking throw your Jeep at you. Supremacy is completely separate from your race. Okay, let's do an arm wrestling contest, or let's sit down and talk about the Platonic dialogues. We can have that conversation, and we can have a conversation that deals with what actual supremacy is. Lock horns with me. Come on, let's do it. But to say I'm better than you just because I'm white, well, there's a lot of white people that aren't brilliant giants. They're out there. You're kind of short.
You're kind of a giant. I know which side of that equation I'm on.
But once you start banning speech, oh, Nazis are hate speech. Okay. How about truth? Do we ban false speech? Do we make it a crime to suggest that blacks are murdered in huge numbers by police officers, that they're being killed in extraordinarily high numbers, as compared to other ethnic groups being killed by police officers? Or do we look at the numbers and say, oh, out of the give or take 800 people that died in this country to police shootings this year, only about 160 of them were black, and of those, 8 were unarmed. Of those, 6 were going for the officer's weapon. In fairness, those stats are off the top of my head and about 4 or 5 weeks old. I haven't looked up. I haven't looked up to see how many people have been killed by police officers in the last month. I've been a little busy. Oh, Legion, don't pick on poor Cameron. I'm right here. I can handle it.
No, he's the giant. I'm the genius. I'm okay with it.
Oh no, no. I said there are
Master
brilliant
Blaster.
giants. Oh yeah, that's gonna work out for you. Anyway, um,
You know which one died halfway through the movie? I'm sorry. Derail. Mad Max joke. We're back on track, people.
no, you're gonna have to run your mouth for a minute because you lost me. Come on, genius, say something smart.
Well, that's easy. All I have to do is talk.
They're waiting.
Yeah, they're waiting. Okay, so
They're
for
waiting on you.
for the people that haven't seen Beyond Thunderdome, there's a conglomerate character. His name is Master Blaster. One is short and intelligent. One is tall and strong. He would throw a Jeep at you. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, but my wife made him the bow tie.
That's also how you know I'm a genius.
Really?
I'm smart enough to wear it.
She made you a bow tie.
I'm
She
smart
made me
enough to
this
wear
shirt.
it. Again, because you're a giant.
That's true. Anyway,
So, no, but I actually like the point that you bring up there, because if we're going to ban speech, well, why don't we just ban lying? Why don't we just ban opinion? Why don't we just ban... The one that bothers me the worst is hands up, don't shoot, because that's not what happened. And I'm referring to the Michael Brown incident where the 20-year-old high school senior strong arm robbed a...
yes, she is.
Stop. We're back on track. Bad, Lindsay. Bad. Anyhow,
Michael Brown, strong arm.
Michael Brown,
The gentle giant.
the gentle giant that gently grabbed a shopkeeper by the throat and gently stole a pack of blunts from him and gently laughed as he did it and gently walked out of the store. And when he saw this cop walking up to him, gently assumed that the reason why the cop was walking up to him was because he had just done all these other gentle things. He had gently done all these other things. He then gently got into a fight with the police officer and gently tried to go for the police officer's weapon. And the story, as it was originally told, was that Mike Brown threw up his hands and said, "Hey, I have my hands up, don't shoot," because there was a buddy there. Because, you see, I mean, they were stealing the blunts so they could smoke weed. And honestly, I'm very libertarian about this. Like, if you want to smoke all the pot, you go right ahead. But what you don't do is choke a shopkeeper to buy some cheap cigars that, like, at the gas station around the corner, you can get 2 for $1.
Steal. To steal some cheap cigars.
Steal some cheap cigars.
He wasn't buying no cheap cigars.
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
was a strong arm robbery.
It was literally a strong arm robbery. So what happened was you had the first round of stories, and then he didn't do nothing. That's right. Then the FBI got involved, and the buddy that had originally told the story got sat down in a room, and it got explained to him. Said, "Okay, here's the deal. Here's what happens when you lie to the FBI. You do 10 years." Did Mike Brown do hands up, don't shoot? Is that what happened? And then his buddy's story changed because 10 years in prison sucks. But by then, it didn't matter. That's actually when the football players originally started doing their protests. Back before Colin Kaepernick was somebody that he thought was special and then wasn't. Back before he was GQ Man of the Year. Jesus. It started with the Ravens, actually. They came out of the tunnel with their hands up, symbolically standing in solidarity with Mike Brown. And it became a meme in our culture. Hands up, don't shoot. How many black men are killed while they're trying to surrender, and all of this other yada, 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 yada. And as disgusting as I think that is, as reprehensible as I think that is, I still don't think that that's speech that needs to be banned, because, and I realize the slippery slope is a logical fallacy, but it's also a real thing that happens. And that is the slippery slope, because who gets to be the one that decides? And the left does this other thing. They take a word and then they change the meaning of the word over time so that it carries all these additional connotations. It goes back to that microaggression bullshit that we've talked about a few times on the show. If making a joke, like Lindsay in the chat here said that your wife was hot. Well, what if that's offensive? Do we send the brown coats after Lindsay? Is that what we do?
Of course we do. Obviously, that's what we do. What else can you do?
So, bringing it all the way back around to your original point about jokes and rape, I actually think that's a good place to put a pin in it, because that's what the left does. They take words, they take phrases, they take activities that mankind has been engaged in since the beginning, and they attach all of this additional meaning to it. And now it's evil, and it's offensive, and it's a thing that you don't do anymore.
Well, there's a little more to it than that. And that's where the word microaggressions comes in. What they're trying to do is to redefine speech, which is
keep going. Don't even respond.
They're trying to define speech as in opposition, basically dissenting views, as violence, so that assault, so that actually striking or even killing someone can be justified as a response to speech that they don't like. We are the only country that has something like the First Amendment. Quite recently, excuse me, guys. Quite recently, there have been people incarcerated. Yeah, no. There have been people incarcerated in the UK for offensive tweets. And in Canada, the way hate speech laws work, hate speech can literally be defined as speech which is in opposition to the current party in power. Think about that. And it's a crime. It's a crime for which you can be incarcerated. You can be fined. Think about that.
I don't have to think about it. We can just look at North Korea.
Yeah. So that is where I want to put a pin in it. I want you guys to think about that. I want you to think about what this world looks like without the First Amendment. And just because I like to plug it, think about how we keep the First Amendment without the Second Amendment. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Love to see you here on Sunday nights. I'm glad you turned up. We will see you next week. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Like and share. And I appreciate you commenting in the live chat all night. Drop down into the comments section under the video itself and leave some comments there. I'll respond to them, and that really helps us build the numbers. Make sure you share the videos. We are 10 subscribers away from getting our custom URL, which will be a big boost for us, and it'll really help us take this to the next level. So until next week, ladies and gentlemen, remember, if you build a man a fire, he'll be warm for the evening. But if you set a man on fire, he'll be warm for the rest of his life. Good night. Also, Mario, Cameron keeps it real just